Welcome to part 4 in my series of how I use scraps. Today I'm using stickers. Come on in. Hello everybody, this is Julia Laird with Senior Susie Stamps, and I'm glad you came and joined me today. We're doing another in my little mini series on how I deal with scraps. And my friend Peggy came over to help me do a card making demonstration for our women's group this last week. And when she came, she brought me this little set of stickers, and I've already used a few of them, but they have kind of a strange little color combination. And so when I was looking for scraps to use in this video, I thought about these stickers, and I realized that I had the perfect paper pack. And it's this weird little paper pack called Playful Palette that came out from Stampin' Up! Years ago. Here, isn't that just strange? It's a cool paper pack, but it's really challenging for me to use. And what happened is, I got one on clearance, and then when I bought a lot of paper through eBay, and darn if I didn't get another one. Fun. And this one had some washi tape to match. So we're papered up, but I pulled all the scraps of those out, and I pulled a bunch of punches out. They're over here today. And so I thought it would be fun to see what kind of cards we can make out of this pile of scraps that I've got and these stickers and all the other stuff I've got yanked out here. I wanted to share with you, before we get too far into it today, my little cheat sheet that I've got on 1/4-inch layers for A2 size bases. And this is the layer number, and then these are the dimensions in inches. So you can see, for example, if you have a piece of 4 1/4-inch paper, if you cut it by 3, then that gives you a proportionally dimensional piece of layer that will work on your A2 card base. And we'll use this just a little bit today, so I'll show you how it works. Now, I've got some pieces that were actually kind of layer 1 size. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I had this little strip, and I thought we would just make a really simple card to start with. Let me get some card bases. These are top fold today. And let me get my ATG gun. I forgot it. Because we are definitely going to need that today, along with some glue. And I think this one's just going to be a super simple little card. I pulled some of these little pieces that I cut. There's a video on how to cut thin strips like this. And I thought it might make a nice little border for this in the middle of that card. So let's get this one laid down, because it's just going to be a real quick 1, 2, 3 card to use up this scrap. And on some of these, I think I'll just do the fronts. I said that was top folding. Yep, it is. And not worry about the insides just yet. So let's do this one, and I think I'll put it maybe off to the side a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down, and then I'll trim off the top and the bottom, because this piece is just a little bit too long. And I think I'll put it at the 1-inch mark, so it sets 1 inch in on top and bottom. And I'm using my mat here to gauge that. I'm going to use my art glitter glue to glue this piece on with. Doesn't take much, because it's not going to have any stress on it. And I'm going to snuggle it up right next to that piece on both sides. One on either side. Sometimes I think when we do these little pieces like this, we get a little too much glue on them, and then it kind of squishes out and makes a mess that doesn't always clean up off the paper. So be careful about that. You don't really need a whole lot of art glitter glue anyway, because it's a really good glue. Now I'm just going to take my scissors and trim this off by flipping the card over. So there's my first base. I'm going to set it aside until I figure out what I'm going to do with it. Let's start those over there. My second card, I have another assortment of that same kind of pinky paper. It wasn't as long as that piece was, and there was 2 pieces of it instead of a full sheet. But I think we'll go ahead and do it the same way. Now on this one, I need to trim these so they're even. And I'm just going to put them together like this and use my scissors to trim that little tiny bit off, because it would be noticeable side by side. Then I'm going to glue these 2 down with an even border. This is a 1/4 inch layer size as well. So if I make my side border the same as the top and bottom, it should come out just fine over here on this other side. Now on this one, I'm going to put this one right down the middle like that. And it extends all the way to the top of the black. I better make sure I get that in the center so I don't get it off very much. There we go. Right like that. And I happen to have a little small strip that'll go on the inside of this card. So let's get this one glued down. This is just a good way to use up those little pieces. If you have a strip that'll go over the top of it, you never know there's a seam on that. And then I'll put this piece on the inside and get it used up. Okay, there's card 2. Let's see what this one looks like. Now I had these 2 little strips here, and these are proportional layers as well on the black and on the green. So they're just going to be glued up. If you keep your layers in proportion with each other, then it doesn't really matter if one's a lot smaller. It's a pleasing look to the eye that way. I can go ahead and put this one on the card base, and then we'll build those other 2 layers in. And there. Now I've got these 2 pieces. And again, they weren't quite big enough to completely cover that green, but by the time we bring this nice black and white polka dot in, then I think it's going to be just fine. So let's go ahead and get those 2 put down. There we are. And then I'll use this piece across the center as kind of a little mid-band. And it is 4 1/4 inches, so it'll go all the way to the edge. Right like that. See? And then you never know that this piece was cut and just a scrap. Let's see what card number 3 looks like. Oh, yeah. This one I had some little pieces of the black and multicolor on the back. And then I had another piece of the polka dot, so I thought we'd make a black and white card on this one. And I am going to use my 65-pound base to glue this up onto, because I may want to elevate the whole thing up just a little bit. I thought that might kind of be fun. So I'm going to put this on the edge. Okay, so I'm going to put this one down the middle now, because that other piece wasn't quite wide enough. So we're going to have to trim this back just a touch when we get everything put together. Then I'm going to put a little more tape on the back of this one again, since I had to pull it. There we go. Sometimes when you're dealing with scraps, you just have to get down in there and scrap with them. Okay, now I'm going to trim this one just a little bit. And I'm going to go with my little trimmer here and just trim off enough to make that work at the top and the side there. There we go. Now this one I had already figured out I wanted it to go landscape, and I believe I'm going to put some foam squares up underneath of it and try to use up these things. Okay, now here we go. There, and that one has a little dimension to it, so that's fun. Let's see, that's the 4th card base. Now on this one, it's a mini slimline, but I cut it just a little bit short, so it's only 3 by 6 1/4. And so I'm thinking that I just want to make a really simple card out of that. And not worry too much about it. But I kind of like that black and white background for a clean and simple card. Just to see, let's see. Yep, there we go. And then I think I'll cut a little small strip to go on the inside of that card, and then I'll have a little piece left still. I'll cut a 1/2 inch strip to go on the inside, and so I still have that little piece left. There we go. Now let's see about doing another little card base here. Oh, I have another mini slimline that's actually the right size. It is 3 1/4 by 6 1/2, and I've gone ahead with this one and I did a little work on the inside. It says plant seeds of happiness and watch friendship grow. It has a little trim piece here, and then it has one of the little stickers, and I changed the flower on it and used some of this bright green. This is an Astra Bright paper, and I don't remember what the name of that color is. And then I just used my little circle punch here to make the center of that flower. Now on the front, I'm going to use this sticker, and so I made some little flowers that kind of mimic that out of the punches, and I used this Stampin' Up! Punch. I used that one, and I used a 3/8 inch on the brown, and then I did my center with this little hand punch here. So let's see what we get when we put this card together. This is going to be a happy birthday card because I needed one. And I thought it would be fun to do it like this. And then I had some little small strips of the black and white. But see, this little flower arrangement here's got some blue in it. So I just went ahead and put a little blue ink on that black and white paper. And I think that'll work. It needs to be a little different color of blue though, really, doesn't it? Let me see what kind of other pen I've got over here. Hang on a minute, I'll be right back. I think this one might actually be kind of closer to that. Let's try that and see. If we don't like it, you know, there's a trash bin right here. Get my scrap paper, hang on. And all I do is I take the chisel point and I just start and go down it. There. I think that might be a little better color. There's a little less green to it. Yeah, I think that's going to work fine. So now I'm going to start in the center with this piece and then build my sides against it. Let's see. Kind of get a middle line going. I believe that's about right. Right, kind of right like that. There. And then I'm going to bring these in. But I think I'm going to, yeah, I think I'll just lay that little trim piece in on top of this. So let's go ahead and get these glued down. As I said, this is kind of a strange paper. It's totally different colors than I normally use. And it kind of puts me outside of my comfort zone to use it. And then to use scraps and try to pull it together is really a challenge for me. A little strip of glue down here. Grab my tweezers. Then I'm going to put this right on the edge here. There we go. Got it just about right. And then my other one's going to go up on the top. I can tell you when I got this paper, I got it on sale, and when it came in the mail, I thought, oh, you have really messed up here. And then when I got that second pack in the lot of paper that I bought, I thought, well, you better learn how to use this paper, girl. So I've been kind of working on it a little bit. This looks like clouds to me. But we're going to cover most of it up with this big happy birthday banner. And then I'm going to put my little set of flowers in there. And my other little pieces of trim there. And we'll be good to go. I think I might go ahead and put this one up on some foam. So let's use up another couple of pieces of this. One thing I have learned about card making is you don't have to like every card you make, because other people like things that I don't like, that I have made, and I would probably never ever send them, except when they come to the studio they say, oh, I love that card, and I'm thinking, really? You do? And that card goes home with that person because they like it. I can't like every card I make, I guess. So sometimes you just have to play with it a little bit, and it'll start coming together for you. I thought these little flowers were cute, and they used up a little small piece of green and some really weird brown paper that I have. So this has been a little good little, and then on the inside it's that same one. So that one's pretty well done. We'll set that one aside. Now let's see, I have one more over here that I've already got kind of pre-planned a little bit. And then we'll get into this messy stuff and try to finish those cards with stuff we got left over here. So I've got a thank you. I have some kind of plant and planter here. And I have 3 pieces of this paper, and I think I was going to do a little something kind of like this perhaps, and use some of these leaves to kind of anchor it in. I did my little leaf punch here, just these 3 outside bottom leaves on this paper and then this other green paper. But I think, let's try that, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we're going to have to do some kind of a little black around the edge on this piece, because it just probably won't look right. Now, I think I will start on one edge and see if I can work my way over on this card. I'm not sure whether that'll work or whether I'll have to back up and do the middle first. Let's try it and see. And then come over and do this one. And then set the middle. I don't know what these little pieces of paper were left over from, but they're useful now. For making a basic little thank you card. Let's try to angle him just a little bit. And then we'll do some of these leaves in the background. Maybe up under, tuck them under once we get it glued down. I'm going to glue this flat down on the card. And use these leaves just to kind of anchor the whole thing together. And then we'll put this one up. And I've already got another little inside treatment here that kind of pulls the inside along with the outside. And I believe I will black around the outside of this one because it just needs a little something more than it's got. On these stickers, sometimes you can take a little piece of foam off the back and flatten them out just a little. This one had a piece of foam between the first and second layer, and then had another piece of foam back behind, and I took that back layer off, and it makes it work a little bit better on the inside treatment of a card rather than having a double foam layer like that. And so see now, that little black edge really did make a difference, and it kind of helps with this little edge around the thank you on that, and it's blank inside. So that one's pretty well finished. Now, well, I got a call and I didn't realize that my phone had stopped recording, so I'll show you the cards that I've been making and just chatting away to you. But we'll finish these last two together. Maybe it's not the green, maybe it's black we need. Sometimes black solves problems. Let me pull a piece. Now this is a punch that I got, and it's from Creative Memories, and it has a large and a medium size hexagonal punch, and it sure does help with these kind of things because it's just the right size for a layer on top of or underneath this Stampin' Up! Punch that I have that I suspect is probably that size. Let's see. Let's just see if black makes a big difference on this one, okay? Now, well, it definitely helps over that green for sure. All right, let me glue these together and we'll just keep working at it. Sometimes when you get down to the bare bottom bones of paper scraps, they become kind of challenging. And if you just keep figuring it out as you go, sometimes then eventually they do come around. So let's try to keep an open mind. And remember, it's scrap paper, so if we don't like it in the end, I've got a trash can right underneath. Ha! Right underneath this table. And I don't mind using it. Okay, so now we're going to try gluing these in just to see how that kind of works. And I'm pulling this piece with that piece here. I'm doing the same thing here, touching both of them. And making them where they're not in any order of any sort. Now then, maybe we can use this on something. What about my round one here? That piece is not big enough. And then that ties them all together that way. And then we have a little sentiment that will come out this way. Let us see. What can we do? What can we do? All right. This may work. It may work. What do you know? I'm using it. Okay. We'll get this little guy going right here. And then this little guy will go right like that. And I'm going to make my little border here match up with the edge. There we go. One and done. And I've got a little strip on the inside too, so that's good. Okay, I got one more to do. Now, I have some little scrappy doos here, and they may very well not be working for this. I wonder if something like that would work with a sentiment on top of it. Let's check the size on it first. It's 2 inches, so it should be 2 by 3 1/4. I need to trim that just a little bit. And there we go, and I'm going to put a black edge around this. It'll help it stand up off of that lower piece there. 2 by 3 1/4. And then it'll go right in the middle here. And this will go on the inside if I don't already have one. Ooh, yay! There goes one. Now, I need a sentiment to go on here. And something else. Let's try a piece of washi tape and see if we like that. This washi tape coordinates with the paper, which is always nice. And it's kind of this piece only on a black background, so that ties it together even more. And that uses that piece. Let's talk about a sentiment now. Let's just see. I think thinking of you is the way to go with this card, because it doesn't have any really happy birthday. Of course, none of them have. But let's see if we can use anything else. Anything at all. That one will work. It has enough of the orange in it to kind of make the flower kind of go orangey, if you will. All right, let's do a thinking of you right here. On, see that bright green right there? Thinking of you. Let's try it and just look and see. All right. Now, I wonder if we can do, can we squeeze it? it wouldn't be my choice, but I think it's going to work. Strange how those things happen. And we'll put it up right next to this washi tape. Right there. And let that glue dry just a little bit. And give this a little elevation. I'm going to put this washi tape right down in the middle of this piece and then center the rest of it up. There we go. Let my tweezers go, please. Now, we'll get this little guy in. I'm wondering if I can use some of these kind of up underneath him a little bit. Maybe one of them, perhaps. We'll see. No, I don't think so. I believe that's done, except for this little inside piece. And maybe we'll run a piece of washi tape on that as well. That'll be fun. And that'll tie the front with the back completely, won't it? I'm going to wrap the washi tape around this piece. And then we'll get it glued down. So, I started out today thinking there's no way on earth I want to make any cards out of this. And let's do the review and see what we actually came up with. This is going to be just a touch too long. I should have checked that, huh? That's okay. We can cut this off. That washi tape won't peel back. There we go. Thinking of you. Needs a little embellishment, and I'm thinking some of those pink hearts. What do you think? I'm going to go for it. Where's my little heart guy? Cut that off. Give myself some corners. And maybe one more. I like this bright pink with that other one. One. Let's see. There's one. There. That's definitely colorful. And it's cute. And it uses up the last of that piece of scrap. Okay, here's the cards. I'm thinking that these are going in the bin because I'm really tired of this paper. I didn't like it very much to begin with. So excuse me, but there they go. All right. I have a couple of pieces of these stickers left. I might be able to work one or two of them up into the inside. We'll see. Perhaps over here. It's kind of going the same theme, but maybe not. Let's just look at the cards. Okay, there's one. Here's two. And there's three. 4. 5. 6. And 7. 7 scrap cards today using paper I didn't like. And there we are. 7 more cards to donate. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.